I want to talk to you about blamers, people that blame other people for their problems. And I'm sure you have some of those in your life because any person that does not want to take responsibility for themselves and look at their own problems so that they can change things that are not healthy is going to blame other people for their problems and their choices and their feelings and the things that they do and the things that they don't do. And they're going to find the first person that is closest to them, which is typically a spouse, or if it's a child, it's going to be the parent, and they're going to dump their feelings on you. You're going to be the reason that the person doesn't get up in the morning because you didn't wake them up, and then if you did try to wake them up, then it'll be that you interrupted their alarm clock, so they weren't able to pay attention to the alarm clock. It doesn't matter. It's kind of like people will say sometimes that if somebody's really difficult to please, that they're always going to tell you that you fried the wrong side of the egg sunny side up, and there is no right side to fry sunny side up. Either side works. So there's not going to be any way you can convince this person that you're not at fault, because no matter what, they're going to find you as they're going to blame you as long as they don't want to take responsibility. People will often ask me, what is the most important thing I should watch for in a relationship when I'm dating somebody? And I say, if you have somebody who will look at themselves and self-evaluate and admit when they're wrong and can listen to you and validate your feelings and your concern, look at themselves, you have a whole lot to work with, because you will be able to resolve conflict. You will each take your shared responsibility. You will do your part. So that's what a blamer can't do, won't self-evaluate, maybe can't self-evaluate, maybe so defended that not able to look at themselves. The minute they look at themselves, they see themselves as all bad, and they just get so scared, so defensive, that they just immediately put up those guards and immediately flip it on the other person. So sometimes they even present themselves as victims, looking at themselves as powerless and you having power over them, and that they don't have the ability to change or any choice at all. So they're constantly going to blame other people for whatever it is that goes wrong in their life, never considering that it is their own choices that have led to this. There are some people that have a victim mentality. They have victim attachment style. So they only attach by playing the victim and having other people rescue them and take responsibility for them and help them because they present themselves as helpless. Addicts will always blame others for their addiction, for their anger. An addict they're very manipulative, may want to say, go out and drink or go party. And so they'll purposefully pick a fight with the spouse or the parent. And then instead of saying, I was planning to go out, I'm going out tonight, I'm leaving. They'll say, oh, well, I'm not going to stay here with you when you're fighting with me, and then leave. And they've just flipped it onto you. And then you're sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, like if only I wouldn't have said this, then person would still be here. And oh my gosh, and you're just filled with regret. You're taking responsibility for the fact that this person picked a fight and you responded and then flipped the blame onto you and got to go out and do what person was planning to do all along. They're very, very clever at these types of things. What can you do when you are dealing with a blamer? Well, super frustrating. And the tendency is to either one, take on the blame, thinking, oh, if only I hadn't said that, if only I hadn't responded, if only I hadn't pushed this person so far, if only, if only, if only. So if you're codependent, codependents take on way too much blame, feel way too responsible. So you might take on too much blame, feeling like it's your fault, which excuses the person and gives them the ability to continue to do what they're doing without any responsibility, without being at all culpable. So don't take on the blame. Look at it and say, look at yourself, analyze it, think, did I make this person say what was said before he left? Was I the one that picked the fight? Was I the one who was in a bad mood tonight? Am I the one who isn't looking for a job? Am I the one who drank and got the DUI? Okay. You don't have to take it on. You need to be able to look at yourself and not take on blame, even though somebody is trying to put blame on you. You do that by detaching. You do that by saying, okay, this person is trying to put blame on me. Am I responsible? No, I'm not. I'm not going to accept it. I'm not going to take it on. I'm going to detach from it. I'm going to let it, just going to let it be there. Not going to take it. You don't buy into it, then it doesn't work, right? But can you convince the blamer that you're not at fault? No, that's futile. That will get you feeling crazy. That could get you into arguments and screaming matches and lectures and all the stuff where you try to change somebody else's behavior and it isn't going to work. As long as someone is not willing to change, is not willing to look at themselves, is not willing to take responsibility, you cannot force that person to see that they should take responsibility and that they are at fault. So, are you responsible? Nope. When you work through that, you say, I'm not taking it on, I'm not buying into it, and I'm not going to have an argument with this person trying to get this person to accept it. I'm just going to know that the blame is not mine, that the blame is for the responsibility and the blame falls on the other person. And I'm going to be at peace with that. And I'm going to go about my way and I'm going to live my life. Now, here's the final thing. You are going to have actions that proceed as with the knowledge that the other person is at fault. So if you are not going to let that person off the hook because that person is trying to blame you, you're going to recognize, okay, person's not getting a job. That's their fault. Person doesn't get any money from me. That person is, got in that accident. Not my fault. I'm going to let that person figure out how to pay for the damages. Person got the ticket. I'm going to let the person figure out how to pay that ticket. Whatever it is, you are going to proceed on the knowledge, on the fact that it is that person's fault and not yours. So you're not going to let them off the hook just because they are blaming you. And those things are the way that you deal with a blamer. That's how you can detach from a blamer. That is how you can hold a blamer responsible, even though the blamer isn't going to admit it. Proverbs 19:3, I love this verse for this. It says, a man's folly ruins his life, yet his heart rages against the Lord. And I always put in brackets after that, and you. So person ruins their own life, won't take responsibility for it. They turn around and they blame God. It's your fault, God. Why didn't you rescue me? Why didn't you provide for me? And they're going to turn around and look at you and say, why didn't you help me? Why did you do this? And try to blame it on you. Next one, 2 Timothy 2:23 says, don't have anything to do with foolish and stupid arguments because you know they produce quarrels. So you do not have to get into a stupid argument with a blamer who is trying to tell you that you are responsible when you know you are not. So I hope this helped you deal with blamers. I'm sure that if you're watching videos on dysfunctional, difficult relationships, that you have experienced that. I certainly have. So thank you for watching this video, and please check out my website and look at all of the tools, the books, the classes that I do, that all the resources that I have for you. You can learn how to handle the difficult people in your life in a different way that gives you your life back. Thank you.